Okay guys, so I'm ready to start the 1,000 round test. I've got 84 rounds loaded up in the 6 magazines, 4 15 rounders and 2 12 rounders. We're starting with the 124 grain PPU NATO. Now this video you're watching right now is going to be the edited version. This is probably going to be about 10 minutes or so. I'm gonna probably upload, if my camera will keep running that long without a change and I can process the video, I'm gonna upload an unedited version so you guys can see every round shot through it, if that's your kind of thing. It's probably gonna be an hour and a half long. Maybe not the most fun video to watch, but maybe you're into that. That was my fault, being honest here. The magazine was not fully seated, and part of that, something I'll bring up here, this grip is just a little bit shorter than, say, something like a G48, which I can see people with larger hands having problems with. I've got pretty average size hands for a 6 foot, 5'11" height male. So if you got smaller hands, you would not have an issue, but it can be a little bit hard to seat the mags on this gun. I'm not looking forward to firing all 1,000 rounds by myself. First malfunction. That was weekend only, could have definitely been me. Looks like we had a failure to feed. There's no mark on the primer, obviously, because that last round fired before it. Did not feed. That could very well be an ammo issue. Let's see. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a little more Limp wrist testing with this. And that was with a pretty full grip. Failure to go into battery. It could just be this ammo. And people are going to want to see this left-handed so you know my thumb is not interfering at all. So I'm just going to shoot this one-handed left-handed. That way my finger will be in the trigger guard. So it could just be this ammo that it doesn't like. I've shot this through some other guns, bought a case of it. Failure to use battery. I'm gonna check the barrel, see if there's any obstruction. As you can tell, this gun, or you can probably tell, this gun's getting hot already. Which is to be expected, any gun this size would do that. The feed ramp looks clean. I don't have the kind of lens or the filming ability to show you inside the barrel. But everything I can see looks good, so I'm hoping it's just the ammo. We're gonna burn through this just to get to the 1,000 round point. And then we're gonna burn through this ammo just to get the 1,000 round point, and then we'll switch up to the 115 grain and hope we have better results with it. And there's plenty of lube on this, the way it came from the factory. Multiple failures going to battery. Hopefully it is the ammo. I'm going to shoot these 2 rounds to make it an even last 15. Auto lock there, or auto chambered. I didn't. That'll happen on a lot of other guns if you insert the mag aggressively. You guys can see that I'm loading mags. No malfunctions in that mag. Okay, so what I've started doing is I'm just gonna load the 12 round mags to 10. Kind of helps my OCD with the levels of ammo in the box. We're gonna try some more. I'm gonna try some more limp wrist testing with this ammo in particular. Lock back fine. Failure to go into battery. Maybe it's a two-handed grip issue. Failure to go into battery. 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 Last mag, 15 rounds of the 124 grain NATO spec ammo. That'll be 200 rounds. Failure to go into battery, and I know that wasn't limp wrist ant. All right, I'm gonna purposely try to I'm really hoping it doesn't like this ammo. The 124 grain NATO spec PPU is not something a lot of guys are gonna be shooting unless they have a comped gun, and that might, I don't know if it's a barrel chamber spec issue or what. We'll see. And as a note, every time I put this gun down, I'm leaving the slide back to let it cool off as much as possible. I am the only one loading mags right now. The ambient temperature's around 80 degrees, whereas when we did the Glock 48 and the Glock 43X test, it's around 60 degrees or 50 to 60 degrees. But we had 3 shooters loading mags as fast as we go. We've got 6 mags here, we only had 4 there. And there is a round count difference, but also there's going to be, this gun's going to get cooled down a lot more than the Glock did. So, in case you guys are wondering, this is the ammo we're having trouble with. Let's hope it's not the gun, it's the ammo. Okay, so now we're moving on to the 124, or the, okay, so now we're moving on to the 115 grain Independence ammo. Okay, let's go. 115 grain Independence. Okay, so after 300 rounds of ammo, this thing you can't touch anywhere on the front of the slide. And the trigger is warming up a little bit, but that's still tolerable. The controls are pretty dang hot, meaning the takedown lever and the slide release. Back of the slide's a little toasty, but nothing I can't handle. For those of you watching the hour-long or whatever it is, uncut or 1 or 2 cuts video, managing my trash. Okay, so the camera actually timed out, and right now we're over 400 rounds. We've shot 420 rounds approximately, or not approximately, exactly. And this gun is getting really hot. I'm gonna finish off, I'm gonna load up 20 more rounds so I can get 10 in each of these 12 round mags. And then we get the other 4 for 60, so we'll have 80 rounds left to get to 500, and I'm actually gonna shoot that with gloves. This thing is getting so hot I can't even press the trigger. Anything that's metal on it is incredibly hot, and because of that, at 500 rounds, I'm gonna stop and do some other video stuff, just talking about the gun itself, and take a break before we continue to shoot to 1,000. Okay. Okay, so now we're doing this with gloves, the last 80 rounds till we get to 500. Okay guys, so getting ready to take a break. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna break this gun down. I'm gonna disassemble it. Have to wear gloves to do it. Let it cool down. Okay, so I thought I'd change up the angle for you guys a little bit. So here we have the Sig P365XL getting ready to go through the second 500 round iteration. Took a break for about 20 minutes, and I will say this thing cooled off pretty quickly. I disassembled it completely. I did add a little bit of lube to the rails around the barrel hood and the front of the barrel. So I did re-lubricate a little bit. The triggers cooled down a lot, but we're gonna go quick on this next 500 rounds, try to get it done in around 30 minutes to see how it does. Okay, so here we had one failure to go into battery that was shooting left hand only though, and could have very well been me. I'm pretty fatigued after firing 500 plus rounds today, over 600 at this point. Okay, so just finished firing. Okay, so just finished firing up 400 rounds of the 115 grain Independence ammo, and only had one failure to go into battery with that, and that could have very easily been limp wristing. We had multiple failures to go into battery with 124 grain PPU NATO spec ammo. So I think that was an ammo issue. We've got two other types of 124 grains we're gonna try here now. Let's see how she does. see what this is. Another failure to go into battery. I'm gonna set that round off the side. And this is shooting the 124 grain Blazer brass. Tell you, this gun is heating up quickly. Another failure to go into battery. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this a lot left hand. I'm going to shoot this. So having these failures to go in the battery with 124 grain ammo. This is 124 grain Blazer. Haven't shot a ton of it, but it doesn't seem to be as bad as the PPU. Failure to go into battery. At this point, I'm just trying to keep as stiff as a grip as I can on the gun using my left hand, since it's less fatigued than the right. You can feel that one just barely go back into battery. I think it might be the shape of the projectile going into the chamber. I haven't had any issues with this ammo in other smaller guns, including, I have had issues with the P365, but not these type of issues. But I haven't had issues with the 43, the 48, or a Shield. Failure to go into battery. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the hand up tight. I'll see if you guys can see that. Failure to go into battery. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on burning through this 124 grain blazer. All right, failure to go into battery, and you can feel the one before that have trouble going in. Failure to go into battery. Failure to go into battery. At least the ejection's consistent. We're gonna try some limp wrist testing with this 124 grain blazer just to see how it does. There we had a failure to go into battery, but that was limp wristing. And then I really don't know what the deal is, guys. I'm just gonna fire this thing as quickly as possible with a good tight. It's kind of hard to do with these gloves on. Maybe it is limp wristing with the fatigue. I really don't know. This is quite a test for a gun because you got one guy firing 1,000 rounds through it in 2 hours. It wears your hands out, guys. We've got the last 200 rounds left. Let's see if we can make it. Ah, battery's about to die. Gotta cut it off swift. Okay, just switched to my last battery. Got 200 rounds left. This should go pretty quick. So what I'm trying here is I'm just gonna point it safely at the berm, and I'm just gonna try to simulate like an old lady or something has. I'm gripping this gun very softly too. No malfunctions there. We're still on, this is the last 100 to 50 rounds of the, we're on the string of the last 100 rounds of the program. Maybe it's a break-in period with this gun. I don't know. Gonna try some one-handed again. You could feel it, not that shot, but the shot before, you could feel it going back into battery. Failed to get back in the battery, but finally slid back in. Did the same thing. And right there, I'm being very careful to avoid any contact with the slide whatsoever. In fact, I'm making contact with the slide. Somebody pulled into the range. I'm trying to finish these up real quick. I'm actually going to go talk to these guys, try to finish off the last 100 rounds after that. Okay, so camera started back up. Going to finish off these last 100 rounds. Okay, gonna finish off by shooting the last 100 rounds. This is gonna be 124 grain Lawman. This is my preferred range ammo. Failure to go into battery with 124 grain lawman. Auto fed that time. I was pretty aggressive with the mag. Failure to go into battery again. Failure to go into battery. Last 15 rounds, so far 3 failures to go into battery. Four. Five. Okay guys, so that's a wrap. I think it could be a little bit shooter error and failure to go into battery, but I also think the gun, I didn't have this problem when shooting. I shot 1,000 rounds in a similar time period between a Glock 43 and a 48. There were 3 shooters, but 2 of us were doing the majority of the shooting and I was doing most of the scenes. So I'm pretty sure I had about 1,000 rounds that day, plus what we shot during the break in between. So pretty similar performance, but this gun seems to be more, you're gonna have more reliability issues if you're fatigued. So something to take into account.